Well, hello everyone. We're going to change the format up. We're going to drop the ratios. And we're just going to look at a tool that you can use today. It's also a reminder, those who may not be familiar with the show, we try just to find some kind of normally economics more so than drilling down into the real estate. We can do the real estate, but you know, normally we have the desire and the willingness to buy. We just don't have the economic motivation to do so because it's a struggle. It's a big investment. The biggest one we have, most of us have, and some of us use retirement income to do retirement type of rentals and that sort of thing. And that gets us off into a whole nother set of expenses in a world we have never known. So let's start with something right here. There we are. This is the website, my website. Right there, you see the name down at the bottom. This is the name at the top. We're going to look at this. We're not really going to go down into the details here. What we want to do is look up here. We have live data for Cannon, Coffee, Bedford, and Rutherford. And each one of these has multiple quick little tables that are already pulled up so that you don't have to spend a lot of time looking through unrelated stuff, like when people say, well, that we've got 6 months of inventory. Well, are they talking about Davidson County where the prices got so ridiculous high and they're still building? Or is it somewhere closer to where you actually care about? So let's start with something like, let's see how Cannon is doing. That's a small county. Pull it up. We have Cannon, the entire county. We can look at the city of Woodbury, Auburntown, Bradyville, Gasaway. Gasaway, that's actually a good place. I'd like to live out there if I had the wherewithal to go out and live in that small community, or related to somebody who I could get part of an old farm getting broken up, something like that. I like the landscape out this way. Bradyville the same way. Auburntown, it's a little different area, but we'll look at this. If we go to the county, let's hit the counties first. And I just want to show you how easy this is. Oh, first of all, let me make myself go away. Right, we're going to zoom in here, and you see down here at the bottom, this is where you can leave me a note and get into the system. In fact, I would appreciate you doing that. But here we have live interactive data. This is pulled directly from the system, or should be. And what we've got going on is 21, 22, 24, 25. We obviously haven't hit the 26 in the data that we're looking at. But what does it say? March 26. Can we see that? March 26, because we haven't closed April out yet. And then you can go at any of these if you want to see average sales close there at Cannon County. Here's your data. You can see it's kind of, we've done this little seasonal bit in here, but not really crashed. What about price per square foot? Hasn't really crashed there, has it? So we're not really in desperate straits in any of these places. But what were we talking about starting out? Days on market. How long was something staying on it? Well, it's not gross, and it's certainly better than it was back here. Let's see if we can hit that date up here in March of 23. So we're still doing less time on market in Cannon County, the whole county combined, than we were doing back then. So it's not gloom and doom. Let's zoom down here. Active inventory. Inventory is actually going down in Cannon County. And then we have that there at less, what's that? 1.46%. And you can look at the under contract. So you can look at these lines. All of these pages are set up the same way. Months of supply. Yeah, it's growing a little bit. We've gotten past that fear of missing out. We're getting more into where the buyers have a little bit more leverage. Cannon County, it's at 4.97. So that's not too bad at all. That's really not too bad. That's not even 6 months. And a lot of people look at 6 months and will say, well, we need to get over 6 months before we really call it a shift of any kind. But you get the idea. It's right there. How hard is that for you to do, to go to my webpage and pull that up? You know, it's pretty handy. What about Woodbury? What about Woodbury proper? All right, how are they doing in comparison? Let's look at their active inventory. They actually went down significantly. Now they're coming back up. Look at that. Look at that. So with 38 days. That's not too bad. That can't be too bad. What about months of supply? That's days on, that's inventory. How long they've been there? What about this one? Well, that's 5.18. It's a little more, not yet 6 months. So where do we have these 6 months worth of inventory sitting out there hanging away? Let's check Gasway. That's a lovely area. They don't have much action going on out there. Can be a little bit spotty. Months of supply. All right. Are we 6 months there? Nope. 5.18. So let's look at, let's do Rutherford County because that's where I live. Let's see how Rutherford County is. That's a big market. Where are they doing? Well, are they at 6 months? No. 4.29. That's not bad, is it? Active inventory. Looks like it's not really being disrupted by anything on the market going on. Total showings still climbing up as we would expect a growing market, a healthy market to do. Price ratios have switched down below that fear of missing out seller's market peak. And we see, of course, the price per square foot still going up a little bit. Look at the gray lines. Notice if we step on in between the lines, you see what it is. Average list is the gray line. So the list, they're still trying to get that list up, average list per square foot under contract, let's see, which one is it? Green is under contract. Red is sale. So the red line looks like it's not really tanking, is it? So we're doing pretty good. All this information is available to you if you want to look for it. Let's look out toward Rockville. That's been a hot market in recent years. Let's look out there. Ooh, well, look at the price per square foot. Look a little janky out there. They've had some developments go on out there. What about months of supply? Look, they're even going in the opposite direction. They're down to 3.77. That tells us that Rockville is still a up and coming hot little market to go. What about the showings? Showings went down, but now they're coming back up. Now look at the price. Prices were going back up, and we had the showings respond by, okay, price is a little too high. We're going to come down, and we're getting that little bit of a lag going on there. But it's all available for you. What about Reedyville? Beautiful place out here. Not a lot of going on, but we've got it. What's going on out here? Total showings. Well, how many we've got? 10. Pretty small little market out that way. All right, it's down 40. So you can see it doesn't take much in a small market to make the little lines go janky. Smyrna. Oh, Smyrna Saki up there. Let's see what they doing. Days on market. Again, things are moving. Days on market here still going. Residential, that's current inventory. Here we were at closed. This is on average. This should be, unless I've got. Looks like I might have a difference between the median and there we are. Median on this side, the average on this side. Close, average dollars to close. So there we go. Pricing. So you get the idea. Bedford County, it's right here for you. And guess what? You don't have to talk to me to see this, right? You don't have to talk to me to see this at all. You can just go on there, slip on my CallDelToSell. Right there it is, CallDelToSell on the interweb, and go look for yourself. You don't have to type a lot of stuff in. You can come down here and leave me a message, but you don't have to. So the information's there. You be careful about who you listen to, what company they're with. You know, maybe they don't have a lot of exclusives held back within just kind of the going-ons. Maybe they don't have a lot of knowledge of what's coming up before it's even got things set up. No idea, nothing necessarily going on. Can't say anything bad about them, but you know there are differences, just like your car dealers or your artist or whoever you got going on out there. They got a good idea, maybe a little bit of what's going on. So anyway, you can hit those various pages on that website called CallDelToSell.com and do your own little research, and you don't even have to pull them up. You can just at a glance pop that up and just get the line. See, I'm visual. My eyes, I see lines much better than I do the words and numbers. But we're not, at least from where we spot checked, we're not at 6 months. And what would it mean if it was 6 months? Is that bad? Well, not really. It means we're getting a little bit of moderation. We're getting a little bit more choice out there for the buyers. Sellers have to compete a little bit. Prices are still holding pretty well. Now, maybe if you were back in that, 2028, where we are 2008, where we were having people were buying houses, paying nothing but interest, living in them for about 2 years, and then dumping them, cashing in on the growth, the equity, having never actually paid on the house, just paid the interest. They're basically just paying partially rent on a house that their name was on and dispose of it. Yeah, that was a little bit janky. We're maybe not doing that stuff anymore. But yeah, the market's still looking pretty good to me. If you don't think it's looking good, try to find a piece of land out there. How hard is that? Much more than what we got. Anyway, that's it. We're going to cut it off at this point and just post this direct. We'll see you next week.